Good morning, people. Good afternoon in the UK, and no doubt good evening somewhere else in the world. Back to the junk journal. Well, I've been doing little bits with this signature to show you what I'm going to do, and then we'll do it together in this signature. So I've been busy, haven't just been sitting with my feet up drinking coffee, although that's quite tempting. This week I have discovered something called Glossy Accents. I've always known about it, but I've never actually owned any, so I didn't really know what it did. But these are these little tags. Remember I showed you them, and I decoupaged onto them, obviously the fox here and just a bit of foliage there. Went round the outside of that one with Jane Davenport crayons. And then I got the Glossy Accents out. And it's like really thick, gloopy glue. It's really weird stuff to apply. And you want it so it's got no air bubbles or anything in. Might take a bit of practice, I'm thinking. But these look really nice. Really, where are we there? Sort of dimensional. Can you see them? They look really, really nice. So I'm going to use those in the journal. I'm flushed with success from the Glossy Accents. I cut myself out loads of circles with my inch circle punch thing and put a little hole in, glossy accented the whole lot. Can I just say, leave them overnight to dry. I did try and mess with them after a couple of hours, but lived to regret it, I'm afraid. So for those ones, I've put them down here. Might add a bead to them as well, actually, but they look quite nice. I quite like them, quite interesting. So let's have a look at what I've done and what. Morning Flo, morning Hilda, morning Flora, Deborah, Regina. Wow, hi everyone. Yeah, the glossy fox, isn't he nice? So yeah, this one, which is the one that I'm saying I'm working on, and then we'll go together, we'll work on this. So I've added a pocket here with some of my snippet strip on it. I've put one of the tags that we made together, and I've also made a little journal. So it's quite a nice little journal there, and I just stamped it. You've seen me do that, but we'll go through that today. We'll also go through how you make a pocket with a gusset on. Bless you, Mr. Fix-It. So when you've got a gusset on your pocket, I'll explain it all to you in a bit, but it means that you can get more in. If you just, let's say use this as an example, if you just glue that round the edges, there's not much space in there to actually get anything in because it's tight, it's flat down on the thing. But when you make a gusset, i.e. you fold over at each end and you glue the gusset down, not the pocket, then suddenly you've got all this space here that you can get stuff in. So that's what we'll do today. Also, what have I done? What have I done since I last saw you? Oh, that's out of the book. I just loved it and put it there. You saw Mr. Fix-It yesterday demonstrating how to make your own decoupage. And he was using these bird images from the Graphics Fairy, which are on the Facebook page, on Junk Journal Group, on Facebook, which is my group. And these are inner files, so you can go and download them. They're perfectly free, copyright free from the Graphics Fairy. And if you've got a spare lifetime, nip over to the Graphics Fairy and have a look at some of her images. They're fabulous. And of course, as I say, they're all copyright free, so you don't need to worry about using them. But I thought that looked nice on the music page. If you're an artist, then you could watercolour a picture onto there of flowers or whatever you want to do. But for us all, decoupaging onto there is a nice idea. I like the look of it. What else have I done? Oh yes, these two little pockets here. These are little envelopes. That's the flap. And I just literally chose some images out of the book that we're using. Well, no, first of all, I did actually sponge gesso green and yellow around the envelope, just so it gave us a nice edge and ties in with the rest. Stuck a picture on, put some text on the back, made a little thumb hole and put some journaling paper in. So that's a nice journaling spot there. Because it's so easy really to get carried away doing pretty. You forget it's actually a journal, and you've got to leave space for people to be able to journal into. Haven't done anything on my square graph paper yet. Oh yes, and then this. We'll do one of these today. This is just the stamping that we did originally when we first got our signatures together. And I carried it over onto this page. And then this is just one piece of paper folded up like that, inked around. This is an image from the book. Put some lace down there. I'm actually going to add Mr. Foxy to that.
Ros says hello.
Hello, Ros. I think that's...
From Brampton.
From Brampton.
In
Good.
Ontario, Canada.
Oh, I thought you meant Brampton beside us. Welcome, Ros. I think you're a new name. Sure, everybody will make you feel very welcome. I use these bulb clips. You've seen me use them before. I think they're called bulb clips because they literally look like a bulb shape. And I'm just going to see if I can get Mr. Glossy Accent Foxy to attach through that lace. I've stuck the lace down quite well, so it's a bit dodgy. That's it. So yeah, he's on there now. Just a little extra something to the page. That's what we're always looking to do. More than you would expect to find. Then this is our centre page. And I've got two big journaling cards for that. But I'm gonna have to make some more if the other signature is going to be the same. And they are literally tuck spots there. So that page is quite full. What else have I done?
Ros says she has a photo of the Brampton sign.
Ah, right, originally from the UK. Ah, right. Yeah, Brampton indeed. We live quite close to Brampton. And I don't think I've done any more to this. Oh, another birdie there. That's my favourite one with the blue. I love it. And I really like it against that music. And that, I believe, is that. Now, in this one, I have done another couple of those foldy out pages. Here's one. I've put another foliage glossy accent one there. This is out the book. Same thing, just stamped along there. But you can still journal over that. You know, that's not dark enough to stop you journaling. That and decoupage the back of that page. And just went around here with the same colour as here. But ultimately, I think I might just add a little piece of gauze or something like that. Not this big, but just a little piece of gauze and just add maybe a creature down in there. But we'll see, that's more like sort of finishing touches. Yeah, that's in there for a reason. Ah, yes, this, I wanted to tell you about this. On the graphics fairy, I could only find 3 of those birds sitting in the flowers. So I found this, and this is Tim Holtz Ideology collage paper. And it's 6 inches wide that way, but it's 6 yards long. It's beautiful stuff. I love it. I don't know how I've lived my life without it, frankly. It's just gorgeous. And this is the birdie one, aviary it's called. And that's it. So that's a repeat from there to there. So you get loads. So there's 6 yards of this. And it wasn't expensive. So I'm really pleased to own that. I know I'll get a lot of use out of that. Because I love botanicals and stuff like that. And that'll just go brilliantly with it. Just trying to be careful with it and not wrinkle it up as I put it back in. And that's just the remnant there of the bit that I used. Let's see if I can get that in. Yeah, they do all sorts of typography, documents. There's a black and white flowery one, which is really nice. Really nice, lovely stuff. And I think that sits there quite nicely with the music. What else do we have? Lots of blank pages. That's the central spread.
She's belonged to the Graphics Fairy for a year. She wanted you to look for more images.
Ah, right. Yeah, I belong. I was a member, paying member. There's two things with the Graphics Fairy. You can go there and you can look through all the free images, and there are loads of them. There really are. Or you can pay, I don't know what it is, $10 a month, something like that. And you can become a member of the Graphics Fairy site, in which case then you've got all the back catalogue to look at. And every Monday she puts out a new, is it every Monday? Yeah, every Monday, a new set. And included in the set are some PNG files, which I know Mr. Fixit was talking to you about yesterday, and Photoshop brushes, if you're into making your own collages and stuff, and some really beautiful images, if that's all you want. You know, there's plenty. So yeah, that's the advert for the Graphics Fairy. But I was a member, but I found I just wasn't using the million of images that were there, so I kind of downloaded what I thought I would want, and eventually I left. So that's our central spread. Again, it'll have 2 journaling cards in there. And then this one, this is the same as the other foldy out. He's got a little foxy on there, and it just folds out and it folds that way. So you've got plenty journaling there. And this is a napkin, one that you haven't seen me use before. It had blue and all sorts of colours on it, but I just picked that colour out to match this, which is an image from our book. And then I've got some new Tim Holtz Distress crayons. Yeah, I've blown the budget this week. It's gone. It's gone. Because I like the earthy colours. The Jane Davenport ones I love. And actually, I prefer to use them, having now used them both. The Jane Davenport ones are creamier. But the Tim Holtz ones come in these lovely earthy colours. There's loads of them. I've only bought one set because I didn't go totally mad. But I might this week. So that is that colour all around there. And I like this page, actually. It's possibly a candidate for one of my favourites at this stage. It's different, yes, a different colour to what the rest of the journal, but it's still, it's not jarring me. I like it, it's fine. There's my last bird on the music, and that's that. Right, so here we have a tag, and it's to tell me that I have selected this page in here to have a pocket on it. This tag's going to go in it. We're going to make a journal like we did in the other one, so let's get cracking. Let's get cracking with the packing. The thing I will say to you is, when you're making a pocket, don't go right to this edge with your pocket, because if you do, this won't fold over properly and it'll just be a mess. So keep it away from this fold line here. So let's just measure that and see what it measures. It's about 5 3/4. So if we said we want our pocket 5.5, we could have it in from that edge a bit. So let's make it 5.5. And I'm just going to use the thicker of the coffee stained paper that we use, the 160 gram. So I want it 5.5. Now then, because it's a gusseted pocket, you have to allow 1/2 inch each side for the foldy bit, the bit that forms the gusset. So I want it to measure 5.5, but I want 1/2 inch gusset on each side. So that's 6.5. 5.5 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. So 6.5. So just slice that off at 6.5. Those of you that have bought your quilting rulers, are you finding it much easier to measure and get things straight, etc.? So there we are. And I'm going to put my snippet roll on it. And I want that to be right at the bottom. So I'd like that to be about 3 inches. 3 inches. But once again, I'm putting a gusset on the bottom, so I need to allow 1/2 inch. So it's 3.5 inches. Are you following this? You following this, guys? You with me so far? You'll understand it once I start folding stuff. Right, so there's our pocket. It's 5.5 is going to be the actual dimension of the pocket, plus 1/2 inch each side for the gusset. We want it 3 inches long, plus 1/2 inch for the gusset. So this is what we've got. So I'll just get my scoring board and score in 1/2 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hilda says the quilting rulers were a great investment.
Ah, that's good. They really are. I mean, they just keep you on the straight and narrow. It's amazing, actually, how far wrong you can go off the square without a quilting ruler. So I'm scoring in 1/2 inch on both sides and along the bottom. So there we go. Now then, cut your corners, which are sort of mightier corners. So go in right into that where they meet and just out again at a shallower angle. Shallower angle into where they meet, like that. And then fold these, scroll them down. Of course, this is coffee stain paper. There's no right and wrong side to it. If you're using pages of, a paper pad or something like that, obviously there will be a right and a wrong side to it. So the other bit that we need to trim is just that top little corner. Just trim that off, otherwise you can see it. It just doesn't look professional, guys. Right, so the next thing we need to do is glue the bottom to the sides, and always, always, always fold your sides in first and your bottom last. You'll remember that, won't you? Your bottom's last. Because otherwise, when you're putting things in, it gets caught on the bottom if you do it the other way around, and then it's most annoying. So that's just a bit of tacky glue. Fold that over, just hold it in place. Just put a bit too much on there. Just hold it in place until it tacks up a little bit. That's fine. Right. Just going to get a bit of kitchen towel out because...
Jim wants to know how you make your coffee stroke tea dyed paper.
Ah, well, you can tell them that.
So-called spray.
Ah, well, Mr. Fixit is our coffee stained paper person. He is in charge entirely of the coffee stain situation. I just say to him, I need another 30 sheets of something, and lo and behold, it just appears. It's just magical. So here is my, I'm just going to put my bulb clips away because this is what they look like. I think I got them from AliExpress, actually. Tiger safety pins, they're called, but they're bulb clips. I think they come in silver, black, brassish looking maybe, but I'm pretty sure I got them off Ali. Says there's 1,000. It'll take me a while to get through them. So here's my snippet roll that we made way back when we first started. That was our first homework. And
Regina says I should do a video
of coffee staining it. Yeah, Regina, that's just such a good idea. Such a good idea. He's good at blinking lives, isn't he? He doesn't think he is, but I think he is. So I've got lace on the top here, but actually it's not up high enough to protect these bits here, and I can still see through them.
Problem is I used about 2 weeks worth of my sociability quota yesterday, so it may be a while.
Fair dues. Whenever you feel like it. So what I'm actually going to do is put a bit of lace behind there along the top. So as... Oh, stay there just a sec. So as when I put that there, I've got some lace behind it. Yeah, that's going to be fine. I'm just going to ink around my pocket first, just in case any of it is visible. Right, okay, and stick this on next. That's my next job, that way around. And I'm just going to use a little drop of 3-in-1. But if you've got...
Flo says she missed it. What did you use to make the tags glossy?
I used... Hang on till I could stick this... Well, firstly stick the pin in. Excellent. And then stick this on and I'll show you. So just stick that down there, just along the top. Nothing fancy, just along the top. That must have had some ink or something on my hands. I use this stuff. Was it Jen that was asking? Hilda. It's called Flo. Sorry, Flo. It's called Ranger. It's by Ranger, and it's called Glossy Accents, and it's clear dimensional medium. And it says fine tip for precise application, but it's actually a lot seems to come out in one go. And I would advise you to go and have a look on YouTube and have a look at some of the videos of people using this, because there is definitely a technique to using it. I'm not so sure I've got it yet, but I mean, they really are nice. Oh, I don't know what. Here I am. There we are. They are dimensional and they are very glossy, and I do like it, and I'm quite sure you'll see more of it from me as we go on. So just trim that flush with the edge. That's just really thin, cheap lace, but it's doing a job for us. And then this bit needs to go along there, like that. It's nice, that snippet roll. I like the fact it's got the blue tits on it. Right, so I'm going to put some... I'm going to get my big bottle of glue out for this. Maybe I should just cut that off first. Be brave. What do you think? Be brave and cut it off. Then I know the size of the problem. Ow. That was my finger. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue all over this. The 3-in-1, if you've got Fabri-Tac, use Fabri-Tac. 3-in-1 will do the job. Going right up to the top to those bits that are quite vulnerable at the top, because I don't want them getting folded over and looking tatty. That's probably enough. So I want that right on the side, and that right on that side, and this, I don't think I've got any glue on there, but I'll come back to that and glue that down. And glue all these loose bits at the top. Make sure that they're firmly down, because they are the bits that are going to start to look tatty, if any. So press it down firmly. I'm just going to run a bead of glue along here to hold that bottom lace down. there we go. Lovely, lovely pocket. My glue's gone all blobby. Mr. Blobby. Okay, so we have got our pocket made, and now we're ready to affix it. It's pretty, isn't it? Ready to affix it onto the page where we want it. So I'm just going to use a little bit of, excuse me, glue, double-sided, down the edge, the outer edge of each piece, the sides and the bottom. Take care to keep moving it, because that glue on the other side isn't dry yet. You don't want to stick it to your kitchen towel or whatever you use. So it's nice when you've got your snippet roll already made and you just go to it, it's there. You don't have to start making a snippet roll. It's done, ready to go. Just trim that extra bit off there, which we don't need. And that's all right, that side. Just burnish it down. Remove the backing. I'm just going to add a little bit of Aleene's to this as well, because it's quite a thick, heavy pocket itself, but we're putting a tag and a journal in it, so it's going to hold quite a bit. So I want to make sure it's not moving, not going to come away. That would just be awful. There we go. Let me just put my pin back in there. Okay, so this is where it's going. We want it to be a little way away from that edge here, and just a little bit in from that edge. So there we are, just a teeny bit in. Just want that up a little bit. There we are. Right. Yeah, lovely. There we are. That's our pocket, and you can see it is a ways away from that edge, but that's fine. That, you know, it's better that it's like that, because then we can fold that without it being really bulky at that hinge. Right. So we need to put something in it. And there's one of the tags that we made earlier. They turned out quite well, I think, actually. I really like these tags in keeping. So that goes in there. And the next thing we're going to do is make a little journal while that's just drying off and sticking down. So I'm going to make a journal to fit in behind there. So I need a sheet of our thicker coffee stained paper. I'm just going to fold that in half. I'm going to have to trim a bit of it off because this is the size of the complete signature, so some of it's going to have to come off.
Oh, this is what a beautiful pocket.
It's pretty, isn't it? It's so, that snippet roll, I think when you've made it yourself, you kind of appreciate the snippet roll. So I would like this to be, you know, you've got to be sensible. It's got to fit inside this pocket. So maybe to there. That will go in there all right. And then how tall do we want it? About to there, I think. So just chop that off. I'm going quite quickly today, aren't I? Do you think I'm going quite quickly? I feel like I am. I feel like I'm whizzing along. Do you think I'm going quite quickly, Mr. F?
You seem to be whizzing along.
I know. I'm actually doing stuff instead of just chattering. What's going on?
We're just discussing coffee stained paper and ways to
Oh, yeah.
take it to the next level.
Oh, next level coffee stained paper.
Yeah.
Are we ready for that?
We're just discussing salt.
Oh, salt. Oh, I bet you get nice images with nice, because the salt will suck it up. You can do that with watercolour as well, of course.
Of course, yeah. Or any dye.
I can't show you today because I'm busy making a blinking journal, all right? No, but yeah, any dye at all, anything like that. Right, I think that's our journal.
Jen wants to know what to put in your coffee.
Today I think he's put blooming...
Caffeine?
Yeah, super caffeine, super strength caffeine in it. Right, yeah, it's getting more like me now, right? It's the sort of thing I say all the time. I just need to have a look at this one and see what I did with it. So the
Regina
back...
says she puts essential oils on her papers.
Oh.
But I know people use glycerin, don't they?
Do they? Oh. I don't know, because that's actually not my department. I do the talking and stuff. Mr. Fix-It does. I mean, look at that. How perfect a piece of coffee stained paper is that? It's pretty good at his job, you must say. Right, so the thing is, I need a stencil to put on here. Now, I could use the stencil that I used on this one. Where's it going anyway? Let's just check that we've got nothing on the... No, I've got absolutely nothing on this page here, so we don't need to play matchy-matchy or anything. This is the stencil that I used for this one, which is nice, but I don't want it the same. I've got this butterfly one. That's quite nice, isn't it? Quite like that, actually. Might just do that. And then I've got this naturey sort of one with... that's all right for the pages. I don't really want it for this journal.
Matthew says she uses salt and crepe paper to dye her hair.
Really?
It's a new one on me.
This is a whole new life. Yeah, I'm going to use the butterflies. Quite like them. I mean, I really do like them. And I'm going to use... Shall I use green or brown? Life's just so full of decisions. I'm going to use green, actually. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm going to use brown because it's going in that one. Yeah, I'm going to use brown. I wish I hadn't snipped my finger with the scissors. It's not really what you want to do. Right, so let's make a start. Just, you can use paint if you prefer, whatever medium you want to use it. I like using this because it's there, but it's not really in your face. And let's face it, it's really easy to do. So over onto these ones. So let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it? That's really nice. Yay. So I want to just put something there. If you've got the word journal to hand and you want to put that there, that's fine. It would be a good use for it. I don't. I do, however, have some of my clusters that I have made up. Is this the cluster one? No, that's the stamp one. No, it's butterflies. Yeah, here's my clusters. So you could, if you wanted to, use one of your clusters up there. Be a nice use for them, actually. I'm holding my clusters at the moment. I don't quite know why. That's nice. I mean, that does look nice. But I'm going to make a flatter one. I'll put these to use somewhere else. Do you like my envelopes, guys, that I use to keep my stuff in? Pretty. Talking of envelopes, I did finish the 4 envelopes that we were doing the last time. This is a sewn up one, so it's got paper in it and it's ready to rock. This is a one, it's actually an image from a different book because I don't know why, but I wanted to use it. And it's a sew up one, so it's got paper in it. And these 2 are the ones that just fold down with the journaling inside, with the decoupage on, and that one. So they turned out quite nicely, I think. I quite like those. So at some stage they need placing in the book. Right, so I'm just going to put something up here. And I'm just going to use a bit of text out of our book.
Jen would like to know, what is the formula for a good cluster?
Let's have a look at mine and see if they are of any help to you. Right, well, what I use is a bit of dyed bandage. This is dyed with avocado juice. Don't ask me about that. Mr. Fix-It does all that. But I also have some that is just coffee stained. It's a bandage. It comes from Boots the Chemist. I don't even know where it is. It's just a gauze bandage and it's bright white when you buy it. But it opens up to this really open weave, kind of like cheesecloth stuff, which takes dye nicely and it's useful. So what I've done is I've put a bit of card on the back to build my cluster onto. Then I've used a bit of that, then a bit of lace of some sort, then 2 or 3 things in the background. Stamps are good because they're kind of just the right size. That's bits of old ticket. That's just a bit of paper that I stamped. I've got a stamp that stamps dates and stuff, so I just stamped that on, inked around it. And then you need a focal point. You need something on the top that's interesting and in keeping with your journal. That's got a butterfly on it. That's quite a large one with a big blue tit. That one. It's just things that were kind of accessible, really. It's got a leaf on it and a bit of sari silk in that one. Butterfly and a blue tit stamp, same, kind of the same. It's got a bee on it. They're pretty much this, they're the same really. And this one, that's a nice one with a big butterfly on. This one we made into a decorated paper clip for the purpose of attaching our envelopes to our pages. So you don't want to attach it to a page where you've got lace on. Don't want to attach it to that page because it's got that on. The music is too fragile. That's got lace on. So yeah, this is our first opportunity. So you just pop that over the edge of your page. This we've made into a paper clip. So it just slides on there. It keeps your envelope in place and it looks pretty. So that's kind of the purpose. And I imagine, well, 4 at least, this one plus another 3, are going to get used for holding envelopes on. So it's just, clusters are just kind of get all your little bits out in a pile and you just keep grabbing little bits. So, on a Sunday night when you're sitting down watching the telly and it's, I don't know, whatever it is, some program that isn't demanding your entire intellect to watch and understand, just sit there fussy cutting, and then when it's time to make your clusters, you've got all your little things done. But stamps are a really good one. I like stamps. I like including them because there's loads of different colours. You don't really have to do much cutting out. So, right, there we are.
I think the knack is not to overthink it.
Yeah, don't overthink it. But have a sort of formula. You need card to build on at the back. You need some lace, maybe even some sari silk, some gauze, and then about 3 items. one of which will be your focal point on the very top. So that's all I can say really. But yeah, it is easy to overthink these things. Right, so there's, I don't want that bit there.
Something I could never be accused of.
So just ink around there. I'm actually going to ink these with walnut stain. It's a slightly darker ink, and it stands out nice, more nice. What's the word?
Nicer?
Nicer, yeah.
Better?
Looks a bit more obvious on the page. Makes it stand out more. That's what I think I was trying to say. Yeah, so there we are. So that's going to go there. I'm just going to grab a wee little bit of music. Music is great for this sort of thing. And you can always find it in the charity shops. I don't know about you guys in America with your Goodwill shops, but certainly here there's never a shortage of blinking music. I'm just going to ink that with a walnut stain again.
You do have to be careful with some of it though, from the 1900s, 1920s, because they weren't quite so PC.
Yeah, you're getting really kind of naughty words in there, and it's worth just giving it a check, to be honest. I'm just going to put a little bit of lace in there too. Maybe under the music, I think. Yeah, there, maybe there. And then I need some focal point. So where are my, not stamps, I don't think. Let's have a look in here and see what's in here. Oh, butterflies, big butterflies. Oh, is that too big? Is that too big? Yeah, might be a bit. Might be. Is that the same size? There's not much point trying it, is there? If it's the same size, it's the same size. This is a smaller one though.
Regina says when the indoor flea market opens up again, she'll do a live.
Oh yeah, like a haul round a market.
Yeah,
that'd be brilliant.
Like an outside broadcast.
Yeah, Regina Chesson doing an outside broadcast for Junk Journal Group, live from the flea market. Yeah, that's it. Right, so that's going to be. It's kind of a cluster. You know, that, I guess that would be its definition, but it's fairly flat, and I want it flat because it's going in behind the tag. Nearly forgot there, guys. I nearly forgot. So I'm just going to go around this butterfly so he's in keeping with the rest. I think these butterflies were a freebie on the Artie May's Facebook page. She does some fabulous stuff, really fabulous. Well worth popping over. Right, let's get this stuff stuck on then. Glue stick is good for this sort of thing. Can't believe the speed I'm whizzing through this today. I can't believe it. I'm hoping everybody's understanding what I'm doing. I'm not just whizzing away. Nobody's understanding what the heck I'm talking about. This just needs a little bit of 3-in-1 because it's fabric. Anytime I use fabric, I use 3-in-1. This lace is so thin, I think you'd be able to stick it on with a wing and a prayer, like, but I'll give it the benefit. Just the right side, this side. There we go. Let's just stick down, and then our music. So I'm hoping that you lot are keeping up and sort of doing kind of your version of what I'm doing in your journals. Be great to see in the end what everybody's journal has come out like. That lace isn't dry because obviously that wet glue takes a little while to dry. So some people bend this up like that, which is really, really nice, but in the grand scheme of a journal, it's going to get squashed flat again. So I'd prefer not to take the chance of it getting caught and glue the entire thing.
Glue the sucker down.
Glue the sucker down. It's not going to move again. So I'm just going to pop it there. So it's inside the confines of the page, but it's just made it look a little prettier. I'm just going to run a little bit of glue along there because I don't want that loose. Otherwise it'll annoy me.
Ellen Adams says, plenty of homework for us, Fiona.
I know. I know, and there's tomorrow as well. Tomorrow is yet to come. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, just to make this slightly more interesting, you know, on the journal that I've done for the other one, I've chosen a colour that is kind of in keeping with that. This is a little bit bigger, but I was a bit more limited here because of the where the butterflies came to. But I like that, there's nothing wrong with that. So I just have to decide what colour I'm going to use. Now I could pick up this green, and in fact, that might well be what I do. I've got to remember that, I've got to remember something. Where's my other, here. Where is it? Here. Yeah, so if I do it green, is it just all going to look the same as that? All a bit samey same. You know what I mean? Let's just put that in there and see what we think. I think that bright green is not the solution to our problems. Not that we've got problems, we haven't got problems. I think we need a darker green. Where did I put that Tim Holtz stuff? Oh, okay, it's getting daft in here again now. Can't find anything. Here they are. This has got a dark green in it. That might be... Yeah, I'm going for that. You couldn't get me just a little dish with some water in, could you?
A little dish.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go, like we would with a Jane Davenport, round the outside with the Distress crayon. This stuff, it is harder to blend with just your finger, I've found. You kind of really want some water to help you. Thank you very much. Because just with your finger, it just doesn't want to move far. So just wet your finger a little bit and it starts to move nicely then. Oh yeah, quite like that. It's quite nice. Because your stencil will be different to mine, and you will no doubt have used a different ink to mine, so you may decide not to do this stage at all, or you may decide to use a different colour entirely. Your cluster will no doubt be different to mine, so for all you're going to be doing something similar, it's going to be different, and that's great.
Lynn wants to know where you buy your Tim Holtz.
Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. I check everywhere anytime I'm buying anything like that, but it invariably comes down to the fact that, yeah, I would quite like it this side of Christmas, so I'm going to order it from Amazon, and that way then I get it fairly quickly.
Marie says hi.
Oh yeah.
She's late, but she's here.
That's all that matters. You missed a fair bit today, actually, because I've been motoring. I've had my fast socks on today.
In the fast lane.
Right, so there we are. That's that. quite like that. That's quite nice. So what it needs now is some paper inside it, as it ain't much of a journal if it hasn't got any paper. It's quite nice and grungy, that. I quite like that. Let's just try it in our page before we get carried away with things. Yeah, that's nice. See, if I'd done it the same as that, it wouldn't stand out. So all that work would have been for nothing, and that's just not on. Right, so back to the coffee stained paper and to the thinner stuff. Blimey, I'm really getting through this. Oh no, found some more.
You've got some.
Yeah, I've got loads, but I thought I didn't have as much as I have. So I'm going to use 4 sheets. Which has been quite resistant. Right, 4 sheets. And I just need to cut it off. I don't want it to be the same height as the book. I want it to be in a little bit like pages would be. So I'm just going to mark that there. And then, whilst I've got this here, I want that just in from that edge and just in from that edge. So that's where I want to cut that. So let's move the water before I have a calamity. So make sure that they're all lying straight. And cut them out to size. That ruler is not big enough. It's much easier when you're measuring if you have the large piece under the ruler. You know, you've got more of a line then to straighten it up with. I learnt that when I was sewing. It's just easier.
And a bigger surface area to put pressure on.
Yeah, exactly.
Less likely to slip.
So there we go. That should be our pages for our journal. Let's just fold them in half, make sure they fit. Perfectly. You'd think we'd measured them. Right, what happens when you fold paper over like this is that obviously the inside sheet can't go as far that way as the outside sheet, so you start getting this edge here, which is fine if you like that. If you know, if you want to leave it, leave it. There's no hard and fast rule to it. I just think it looks a little bit smarter if you take it off and it's all lying square. So I'm just going to whip that off. Down there. And you've got a nice square edge to it. Okay, so we're putting the centre in the centre of the journal, like so. I might have to go shopping after this. Well, I don't go in the shops, I'm not allowed to. But Mr. Fix-It might have to. I'm not allowed to because of the shielding thing. It's not that I'm a blinking, what do you call it?
Shoplifter.
Stealer, yeah, shoplifter, stealer. Yeah, no, the shop hasn't stopped me going in. It's just
pictures behind the tills.
No, none of that.
None of that.
No, it's just I'm not. I'm shielding, so I can't go into shops because of the COVID situation. Right. You've seen me do this before, but what I've just done is made sure that that crease is right up to the crease of the journal. I've clipped it down, which makes matters much easier. And I'm just going to take my ruler now and find out what it measures. Let's do it that way so as I've got some chance of seeing it. It's about 7 1/4, so a little over 3 1/2. So there, and then just an inch in from either end. Saves any maths situation, just 1 inch in. I mean, if you were doing a very long book, you might have to consider putting 5 holes in, but for this length, 3 is absolutely fine. Right, so I need my little needle, my little sewing kit. Oh, I just felt the table move then. The table that I sit at, for some reason, it creeps, doesn't it? And there's like a sort of walkway there. And you end up having to go sideways up the blinking walkway because the table's moved. So we did move it back before today, but it obviously likes it over that side better. So I'm using this cotton perlé stuff, any waxed thread, anything that's strong will do the job.
Fishing line.
Fishing line? Do you think that would
line.
do?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know, it looks a bit nylon-y to me. But yeah, fishing line if you like. Oh, I haven't made my holes. Right. So hold it sort of like that, so as you've got your hole directly over the outer. Yes, and down you go. Make sure you put something between you and your cutting mat, or you'll regret it. There we go. Right, so with the clip still in place, in from the inside through the middle. And it doesn't matter which one you go under, the top or the bottom. Back in from the outside to the inside. I've just got that caught around my clip, which I didn't mean to. There we are. And then straight up the middle to the top, or the bottom if you've done it the other way around, but in this instance the top. Straight out through that hole. And then when you come to the middle again, the middle hole, see which side this thread is lying on of your big long stitch. In this case, it's lying on the left hand side. So I want to come up with this thread now on the right hand side. And then just pull it tightly. Take my needle out and put it away before I stab myself in the eye with it. And then tie a knot over that big long central stitch. Tied off tightly with a reef knot or some such that's not going to come undone. I'm just going to tie a knot in the end of that, just in case this stuff frays. I don't think it does, but you never know, do you? So I'm just going to tie a knot, clip it off. I've got a bit longer on here, so I'm all right. So I'm just going to tie a bow. Like so, and then I'm just going to tie a knot with the 2 luggy bits of the bow. Just make double certain that nothing's going to happen to it. Then I'm just going to tie a knot in that end. Straightforward knot. Nothing complicated here. And cut that off. So there we go. We have a journal. Take the clips off would be an idea and see where we're at. Clothes pegs will work fine too. So there we are. You can see down the spine, right on the spine, that stitching. That was a good one. I mean, you know, that stitching's bang on. It's ever so neat in the middle. Blimey O'Reilly. And that just fits in there, into the gusseted part, in behind our tag. Lovely. Right. Well, I could go on and do this, but I'm thinking I've been on for an hour. You've probably had enough. I would have had enough if I was in your position. So yeah, what shall I do, Mr. Fix-It? Shall I just call it a day? I think that's a day.
Probably a reasonable place to stop.
Yeah, before we get
another
involved.
hour to do that one, wouldn't
Yeah, well, certainly period of time.
So unless there's anything short, you can.
I don't think there is really. I just wanted to sort of go through and say to you that there are places in here. You know, this is a big stuffed pocket. This has got this frill on. I think all that page now really needs is just a little bit of stenciling, and that's fine, leave it. You've got to allow space for journaling in a journal. And this is a basic journal. We're not, you know, trying to do really complex things. We're just trying to learn the basics so we can take that and make our own journals with it. This page, I would say, is finished. It's got this really nice image of the house, the little cottage on it, and this bird. The what do you call that stuff? Glossy accents there on the lace attached with a bulb clip. Here probably doesn't need much. Maybe a snippet in the corner. Then we've got this page, which is nice. It's got paper inside there. I would say that it really, I think, needs some more stenciling behind there. Looks a bit naked to my way of thinking. And I need to come up with something to do with these this graph paper. Haven't got an answer to that. And then here we've got blank pages. Here we've got one of those foldy out things that we'll do tomorrow. And the centre. So we've still got lots of spaces. Don't forget we've got 4 envelopes to fit in, 2 into each. But when I go through the book, I see lots of things that I really want to include into our journals. I'll just flip through a little bit of it with you. And you'll see, you know, the waterfall is gorgeous. These are gorgeous. There's some fantastic images that I really, really, really want to include. These toadstools here, mushrooms, love them. That's a really nice image. And really all they need doing is taking from the book and putting in our journal. But we need them in our journal. This is my favourite page in the entire book. I mean, is that not just saying a corner pocket to you and that one? Because it certainly is to me. So that's, we'll try and get that done tomorrow. So it's another page in the book. So we'll do the flippy foldy out page tomorrow and we'll make some corner pockets. Might not have the tags for them yet, but don't worry about that. We'll make the corner pockets.
Debbie says she's ordered that book.
Have you? It's a beautiful book, Debbie. It's really gorgeous.
It was 20 books.
No, you can't take it with you, that's for sure and definite. And who wants to leave it as an inheritance? Not me.
No pockets in shrouds.
No pockets in shrouds. Right, guys, I am... Roz, really nice to see you today. A new face. You're very, very welcome. Maureen, nice to see you. Jen, of course. Lynn, Maureen, blimey. we've got a full complement of Miss Paintalot's posse. I'm so pleased you've joined me. I'll be back tomorrow, 2:00. Tomorrow's might be a slightly longer one because I want to go on and on and on. Today I've really got cracking with stuff. I'm really proud of myself today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.